forest was older than memory. Its trees rose like pillars of forgotten temples, their branches weaving ceilings of green shadow. To step beneath them was to step into another world, a world where hunger whispered and darkness listened. In a village pressed against the edge of this ancient forest lived a woodcutter, poor as winter. He had 2 children, Hansel, whose clever eyes gleamed like sparks struck from flint, and Gretel, whose heart carried more courage than bread could buy. But poverty sharpens cruelty, and in that house lived also a stepmother, her voice like splinters, her heart empty as an abandoned well. One night, when hunger gnawed louder than silence, she whispered venom into the woodcutter's weary ear. "There is no bread for 4 mouths. Take them into the forest, leave them, the trees will raise them, or bury them." The father wept, but weakness obeys what love resists. Hansel overheard. His eyes did not blink, his hands did not tremble. That night, beneath the moon, he gathered white stones that gleamed like frozen tears. He filled his pockets until they rattled with secret hope. At dawn, the stepmother's smile cracked like ice. She handed the children scraps and sent them walking beside their father into the woods. He led them deep, where paths tangled like lies. There he left them, heartbreaking with every step away. But Hansel whispered, "Do not fear, Gretel." He had dropped stones one by one, a shining path back through the forest. When the moon rose, the stones blazed like stars fallen to earth, and the children walked home as if guided by heaven itself. The father embraced them, but the stepmother's eyes burned hotter than the hearth. Hunger had not relented, and cruelty never rests. Again, the stepmother ordered the children cast away. Again, the father obeyed with tears. But this time, the door was locked, and Hansel found no stones, only stale bread. He broke it into crumbs and left them behind, a trail too fragile to fail. Or so he hoped. Deeper still, they were abandoned, the forest closing like jaws. But when the moon rose and Hansel searched, the trail was gone, every crumb devoured by birds. The stars gave no path, and the children's hearts sank into silence. For days they wandered. Hunger twisted their bellies, thirst cracked their lips. And then, a miracle. In a clearing stood a house made not of timber, but of bread and sugar, cakes and shining candy. Its windows dripped honey, its roof gleamed with icing. Desperation silenced caution. They tore pieces with trembling hands, devouring sweetness like salvation. But salvation has teeth. The door creaked open, and there she stood, an old woman, bent and smiling, her eyes gleaming too sharp for kindness. "Eat, my darlings," she cooed. "Rest within my oven is warm, my table waits." Hansel and Gretel stepped inside, and the forest smiled with her. The woman was a witch, ancient as the forest's roots. Her sweetness hid poison. Her welcome hid hunger. Hansel was seized and locked in a cage of iron. Gretel was forced to labor, fetching wood, drawing water, stoking the oven that glowed with an appetite not its own. "Fatten him," the witch commanded. "Each day I will feel his finger. When it is plump, the feast begins." But Hansel was cunning. Each time she reached through the bars, he offered a bone instead of flesh. Blind and impatient, she cursed, another day, then another day. Yet hunger sharpens even blindness. At last she roared, "Enough tomorrow, feast or not, the boy will burn." Morning bled into noon. The oven roared, mouth open like a beast awaiting sacrifice. "Check if it is hot enough," the witch ordered, shoving Gretel forward. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is the fire born from it. Gretel feigned confusion. "I do not know how, show me." The witch snarled, thrusting her crooked head inside to demonstrate. In that heartbeat, Gretel shoved with all the strength her small body carried. The door slammed. The bolt fell. The scream rose like a storm. The oven devoured its mistress, fire drinking her shadow until even Ash feared to remain. Gretel stumbled back, tears burning her eyes, not from smoke, but from the weight of survival. She freed Hansel, his cage bursting open like dawn through night. Together they searched the house and found not just food, but treasure, jewels, gold, riches buried beneath sugar walls. The forest no longer hunted them. It guided them, almost ashamed of its cruelty. Birds led them, streams sang to them, until at last the village roofs rose on the horizon. Their father wept when he saw them, for grief had carved hollows in his face. The stepmother was gone, carried by her own hunger into the dark. Hansel placed a jewel in his father's palm. Gretel pressed bread into his hands. "We are home," they said, "and we are not children anymore." From that day, the tale of Hansel and Gretel burned brighter than the witch's oven, for it was not sweetness that saved them, nor cunning alone, but courage tempered by fire. And so the forest remembers the children who defied hunger, who walked through darkness, who turned the witch's flames against her. Not victims, not prey, legends.